Hello, my friends, and welcome to art class. All right, we are going to start drawing Baby Yoda. I hope everybody's ready. Okay, so I've got my sheet of this is regular copy paper. Okay, as we always do in class, we're going to start by folding our paper in half like a hamburger. Remember how we meet the corners? Meet the corners, and then we fold. We don't have to make a super strong crease, because if we make too strong of a crease, it's going to interfere with our drawing. Okay, so we fold in half like a hamburger, open it, fold in half like a hot dog. If my paper will cooperate, I'm going to meet my corners. See how I'm doing that, and then I'm going to put in just a light crease. All right, now I've got my 4 quadrants. If I flatten out that crease, I can still see it. Can you see that? I can still see my crease, but it's not going to interfere with my drawing. I'm going to clip my paper into my clipboard so that I have a nice flat surface, because I've got little grooves here in my table. All right, pick up my pencil. I have my pencil and I have my ruler. These are my supplies for now. Okay, I'm going to set my ruler there. I don't need it quite yet. Let's start with the collar of Baby Yoda. So let's find our center point. It's right there. Okay, and what we're going to do is draw a slight V out to the edge of our paper. All right, I'm going to put a little mark by this side. I'm going to use 2 fingers, and you might want to use 3 fingers because your fingers are smaller than mine. Okay, and I am actually, you know what, I'm actually going to use 3 fingers. Okay, so I'm on the edge of my paper, and I'm going to draw a slight V. So I'm going to mark a little spot where I want my V to go. Okay, they're right by my finger. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side with these 3 fingers. Okay, and I'm going to make it about, if I take my ruler, okay, I can measure and make it about the same spot, right about there, 3 fingers over. Okay, so those look pretty even to me, right? So we're going to make our V, slight V, slight V, and remember we're drawing nice and lightly because we want to be able to erase. Okay, and this is Yoda's collar. All right, now we're going to draw his head. We're going to start just inside our V. Okay, let's say that's like 1 finger length inside. Okay, 1 finger length inside, and we're going to draw his head, and it's going to be sort of like a little bit of a half circle. There we go. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, and notice I drew nice and lightly because I want to be able to erase if I need to. All right, so next we're going to draw Baby Yoda's nose. Okay, so here's our center point. We're going to come up from our center point just a little bit, and we're going to draw a little tiny U. Notice it's right in the center. Here's my line. Half of his nose is on this side, half of his nose is on the other side. And then we draw a larger U up, and there's his little nose. Okay, kind of like an oval shape, right? Okay, his eyes. He's got huge, huge Baby Yoda eyes. Okay, and they're going to start here and here, right on his collar. All right, so we are going to draw a nice big Baby Yoda eye here. We're going to try to make these the same shape. Yours may be a little smaller. A little bigger, that's okay. As long as they match. And I felt like the left eye was a little bit bigger than the right eye, so I made it just a little bit smaller. It still looks a little bigger, doesn't it? Okay. I think we're going to make this one. There we go, that looks better. All right. Now we've got little highlights. Those are his eyeballs, and we've got little highlights in his eyes. He's kind of looking off to the side, so we make these little highlights off to the side as well. Okay, we've got his face. Should we move on? How about moving on to his ears? So his ears are huge, right? Compared to the rest of his body. They're a little bit not proportioned to the rest of him. So what we're going to do is come from his collar here, and we're going to draw a straight line out on a diagonal, and we're going to curve up a little bit. Straight out and curve up. Okay, then we're going to come down to his head. Okay, and again on the other side, we're going to use our ruler again. Watch how I line up my ruler with the side of the paper to make sure my ruler is straight. Okay, so I know this is the point where I started on the right side of his head. I'm going to start at this point on the left side of his head. Okay, because that's going to be the same spot on the other side. And I'm going to draw my line from here up and curve up a little bit, and then I'm going to curve down to right about there. And do they look the same? Yes, I think they do. Okay, remember our vocabulary word symmetry. Okay, where things look the same on both sides. That's what we're going for. All right, so now we're going to draw the inside of his ear. Okay, so we're going to come down. We're going to stop, not quite at his head. We're going to stop right about there. Okay, can everybody see that? Trying to not draw too darkly so that I can erase easily. Okay, and then we're going to come down here, same thing. About the same distance. See how that distance is about the same as that distance? And then here, we're going to curve down and connect to his head. Curve down and connect to his head. There we go. He's looking good. You know what he needs? Right about now, he needs some hairs on the top of his head. So, depending on how big your baby Yoda is, I'm going to say you're going to have 8 to 10 hairs. Okay? And they're just going to be short little hairs, just standing straight up. Easy peasy. 1, 2, count with me. 3, 4, 5. That one's right in the center. Okay, so I have this one right in the center. I have 4 on this side, so how many am I going to do on this side? That's right, 4. So 1, we're going to space them out about the same distance. 2, 3, and 4. And you know what? I noticed that the hairs on this side are just a little bit longer than the hairs on that side. So I can make these a little bit shorter by erasing. Or I could have made the other side a little bit longer, right? Either way. All right, then we come over here for his collar. We draw a straight line down. And we're going to follow this diagonal, this angle here. Okay, so we're going to come over. This is his left side of his collar. Notice how I'm sketching, drawing nice and lightly. And then we're going to come just slightly past our center line here and connect to the top of his collar. We're going to come out from his ear here, same thing, about the same distance down. There we go. Okay, there's his collar, his sleeves. I'm going to kind of speed up here a little bit because I'm at 10.5 minutes. Okay, so we're going to come down. If you need to, remember you can always stop the video, pause it, rewind, and start over again. Okay, same thing with the ruler. We're going to use the ruler to come down about the same sleeve length. Okay, see how I'm a little bit shorter on this side, so I'm going to bring this side down. I'm on a little bit of a diagonal with his sleeves. They're not straight up and down. Okay, and then we're going to follow the same angle for the bottom of his sleeve. He's got short little arms, doesn't he? Baby Yoda, he's so cute. Okay, and then we're coming up following this same diagonal here. There we go. Okay, now his sleeves are rolled. So to do that, we're going to come out with a little line here and a little line here. We're going to come down and we're going to follow the same diagonal, that same angle, come across, and then a little line up. And there we go. Same on the other side. Come out a little bit. Okay, we're going to follow this same diagonal. So about like that. About like that. And then again, follow this diagonal. There we go. His rolled sleeves. His hands. These are pretty easy. Easy peasy. Okay, remember his sleeves cover his hands. So we're going to come down. They almost look like little lobster claws to me. Okay, so we come down and then up slightly. And then that's a finger, and here's his thumb. Okay, we're going to come down, try to make this curve look like the other one. We want his fingers and his hands to look the same, right? Symmetry, same. And here we go. All right, let's give him some fingernails. Baby Yoda fingernails. There he is. All right, his robe. This is the easiest part, I think. So we're going to come right from about here, where his thumb meets his sleeve. We're going to come down at an angle. Okay, a little bit of a diagonal line. Okay, again, on this side, a little bit of a diagonal line. We can't see his feet because his robe is so long. But to connect from this side to this side, we're not going to do a straight line because that's kind of boring. We're going to do a little bit of an S curve. So we're going to come around here. We're going to show, this shows sort of like a little bit of a movement to his robe. We'll kind of angle that or round that off a little bit. There we go. One last thing. We need some little curves to show the folds in the fabric there where his arm meets his body. And there he is. Okay. The next thing you need to do, I'm going to color his eyes with you, and then I'm going to have you do the rest. You're going to color over all your pencil marks with your marker. Okay, so we're going to start with the eyes. And we're going to do the big circle. Okay, and then we're going to do the little circle. All right, the trick here, do not color in the highlights. Okay, just color in the rest of his eye very carefully. Notice I'm going in one direction. I'm going up and down. We've talked in class about how scribbling with your marker really kind of makes for a messy look, right? We want a nice clean look for Baby Yoda. There we go. Let's give him his nose too. All right, so now it's your turn to finish up. Finish going over all your pencil marks with your marker and then color him in. Be careful if you're using Crayola, which I'm assuming that you are, your colors will bleed into one another if you're not careful. So when you color Yoda's head green and then the tops of his ears are going to be green, just make sure that you're not make sure you don't get too close to your black, because your green will bleed, or your black will bleed into your green. Okay, so again, go over all your pencil marks. Okay, and then watch how I'm going to turn this. I'm going to turn it. Okay, rather than bend my wrist in a really awkward way, okay, I'm going to anchor my hand like I always do. Anchor my hand. Press down. And move my wrist rather than my fingers. Okay, and then I have a nice clean line for Baby Yoda's head. All right, finish up Baby Yoda. Color him in. Take a picture and send it to me. I can't wait to see it. Thanks, guys. Have a great day, my friends. Bye.